Hi, this is the overview for week 4 of our series for Ruth in the Sunday school and in the children's church. Both lessons will deal with the idea of redemption, that is, buying something back. So just to say, if you have a good story about reclaiming something or redeeming something, use it. In Sunday school, the focus will be on understanding redemption. A definition is to gain or regain possession of something in exchange for payment. That works. Now the next question is, who is able to do that redeeming? We'll talk about a kinsman redeemer. This means only a human can die for a human. Also in Leviticus 25:47, it mentions being redeemed by a blood relative. Jesus is that kinsman redeemer, and we'll get to that. But first, we'll talk about stories where we see what God wants. With Cain and Abel, we see the need for blood sacrifice. Something had to die to temporarily cover our sin. It's obvious that sacrifice was a very purposeful image pointing ahead to Jesus. There will be a short talk about blood, but noting that only a human life could take the place of our lives. The first place you see a kinsman redeemer is in the story of Joseph in Genesis 44:32. This was when Judah made himself the redeemer for Benjamin so that Benjamin could return to his father. Later, there's another example of Hosea redeeming Gomer from slavery. The lesson ends with Jesus dying to redeem us and being raised from the dead to show that the redemption price was paid and accepted. In the children's church, the story will focus on the process of Ruth being redeemed. She chose to obey Naomi and to do things the proper way. When you read Boaz's words to Ruth in 3:10, you realize it wasn't at all expected that a younger woman would do this. So then the focus will be on doing things God's way. That would make a good word up for the kids. The end of the lesson can be an opportunity to clearly present the gospel and the Lord's desire for us to be saved. Just like with Benjamin, the Father wanted us to come safely home to Him. Who could or would do that? Jesus did. I use the words of Romans 10:9 and 10. Especially important is to emphasize the resurrection. That is, that the resurrection is proof that Jesus paid it all. You can certainly choose your own memory verse for this lesson, but as I'm planning it, I'm using Psalm 40. Today would be learning verse 4 and then reviewing the first 4 verses. What's interesting about this psalm is the emphasis on waiting for the Lord, and then in verse 6. In Psalm 40 it says, he was given an open ear, but in Hebrews 10:5 it's interpreted as, a body you have given me. Jesus redeemed us by his body and blood. On the webpage for this lesson, you'll find a PowerPoint with the memory verse and This World Is Not My Home. Now I'm using the song as a theme song for the series on Ruth. On the lesson text for both Sunday school and children's church, I've made some suggestions for other songs and even a game. Keep in mind that you might not have a lot of time for too many elements. I hope you have some fun and joy in teaching this lesson about the kinsman redeemer. Maranatha.